By 1880, European powers had small coastal footholds. Within 30 years, they carved up the entire continent.
Imagine waking up one morning and discovering your entire land now belongs to a foreign king you've never met. No war, no warning, just lines drawn on a map thousands of miles away. This is exactly what happened during the Scramble for Africa, one of the most shocking land grabs in human history. European powers met in Berlin to divide the continent, redrawing maps without regard for the people.
But how did it happen so fast? Why didn't African kingdoms stop it? And what were the long-term consequences we still see today?
Stay with me, because this story is more dramatic than you think.
Before Europeans rushed in, Africa was not an empty or backward continent. It was home to powerful kingdoms and empires like the Zulu Kingdom under Shaka Zulu, the Ethiopia Empire, the Sokoto Caliphate.
These African societies had advanced trade networks, organized governments,
Strong armies.
rich cultures, and traditions. In fact, Africa was deeply connected to global trade through gold, salt, ivory, and more. So what changed? By the late 1800s, Europe was going through the Industrial Revolution.
Factories needed raw materials like rubber, cotton, palm oil, minerals. And Africa had plenty. But that wasn't the only reason.
European nations were also competing for power and prestige. Countries like Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Portugal all wanted to prove they were the strongest. Owning colonies became a symbol of greatness, and Africa became the ultimate prize. In 1884, something unbelievable happened. European leaders gathered in Germany for a meeting known as the Berlin Conference. But here's the shocking part. No African leaders were invited. Led by Otto von Bismarck, the conference set rules for dividing Africa. Any European country could claim land if they occupied it, and borders would be drawn without considering African cultures. This secures our claims. This led to artificial borders that still cause conflicts today. After the Berlin Conference, the race for Africa exploded. European powers rushed in with advanced weapons, steamships, and military forces. Some African kingdoms resisted bravely. For example, Ethiopia fights back.
Forward, my warriors!
Under Menelik defeated Italy at the Battle of Adwa.
This made Ethiopia one of the only African nations to remain independent.
The Zulu warriors fought fiercely but were eventually defeated by British forces using superior weapons. Perhaps the darkest story comes from the Congo, controlled by King Leopold. Those who refused were punished severely. Historians estimate millions died during his rule. The Scramble for Africa changed everything. Artificial borders were drawn, splitting ethnic groups apart. This caused conflicts, civil wars, and political instability. Languages, traditions, and systems were replaced with European ones. Even today, many African countries still deal with weak economies, political struggles, and border conflicts.
After World War II, African nations, leaders across the continent, rose up. By the 1960s, most African countries had gained freedom. But the damage had already been done.
The Scramble for Africa wasn't just about land. It was about power, greed, and control. In just a few decades, an entire continent was reshaped in ways we still feel today. But Africa's story didn't end there. It continues to rise, rebuild, and redefine its future.
If you found this story powerful, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this history.